How's it going? How's everybody doing? Hope you're doing well. Hope you're having a wonderful day. It's actually pretty decent here in my neck of the woods in Ohio. I actually got up to I think the mid-50s today. Felt like summer compared to what we've been having. And checking the extended forecast over the next, I mean, it's gonna go up and down probably here for a couple weeks. Obviously, it's still going to be down around freezing at night, but during the day, I think it's going to be going up and down through like the 40s. We're going to have an occasional day that gets up maybe in the 50s. But it looking like possibly the winter, or at least the brunt of it, is behind us. And it makes sense because we're very quickly approaching what's technically the first day of spring here soon. So let's hope so. I'm ready to get outside and get some work done around the house, outside, get things cleaned up, and I'm kind of ready to start doing some more work at work outside. Don't know what the weather's like in your area, but hopefully we'll all be, obviously some parts of the country don't really have to worry about winter anyhow, in comparison to like we do here in Ohio. But you know, just about every place has their seasons, and I think most people, not all, but most people prefer summer to colder temperatures. I know I do. Anyway, what I'm here to do is a little bit something different. If you notice from the title of this video, it's not going to be an unboxing video. Prominently because I don't have anything to unbox. I'm waiting on, I think the next thing comes my band box. Hopefully it will be here soon. I think that is actually the only thing that I have coming right now. So, when it gets here, well, I'll do that. But in the meantime, I thought, you know, maybe I'll broaden my horizons a little bit. I want to try to start getting more subscribers on here. I know I don't do all the fancy bells and whistles like a lot of YouTubers. One, I don't have time to do that. I work. A lot of YouTubers, that's what they do. You know, they for the most part, they just do YouTube. They, you know, get monetized for their content and stuff, and you know, that essentially has become their job of just providing content on YouTube, and all the power to them. I mean, that's great. So they have time where they can actually hire somebody to edit their videos and you know, they have their own music and they have all this stuff. I mean, if I had the time, I've got software and stuff. I'd make like some music. And I do want to design like a logo for my channel that I can at least put up like a title card before my actual little title thing I do that shows, you know, just your average schmo. When I get around, like I said, when I get the time, I plan on doing that. But time is a big factor. You know, I work a regular job, and especially with it getting warmer, I'm going to be working at my regular job even longer than I do right now. Right now I work right around between 50 and 55 hours a week. Once it gets warm out, I'll probably be working like anywhere from 60 to 70 hours a week, which I'm not complaining about at all. It can be exhausting, sure, but I like the overtime because I got no shortage of bills. The gas bill, you got the mortgage, you got the insurance, you got the car insurance, you got Parents Plus loan for my daughter's college. Still paying on the damn windows I put in my house a couple years ago. Expensive freaking things. The windows go from basically from the ceiling to almost to the floor, about 6 inches from the floor. They weren't cheap. It was like $12,000 for 4 windows. Yeah, nuts. But at least I'm not losing a bunch of heat out those old style windows anymore. But yeah. Anyway, so what I thought I'd do, before I completely ramble off and get lost, because we know I do that often, I want to get more subscribers, so I thought maybe I'll broaden my horizons a little bit. And maybe one way to do that is to kind of open myself up a little bit more and let the people that do subscribe right now get to know me a little bit more. Some of the things I like and so forth, hobbies. And maybe that in turn, if I start something up, if people enjoy it, that might draw more people in, which would be great. So I thought I'd go with one thing that I am passionate about and introduce some of my interest in that area to you. I'm talking music. I love music. I mean, honestly, have you ever thought, just take a minute, sit back and think, have you ever thought about what the world would be like if we didn't have music? I mean, like certain types of music. I mean, just music. If music had never, for whatever reason, had never become anything, it's kind of frightening. Because music tells so many stories, not just from the music itself, but for people. The music they like can, especially if you look at certain songs and so forth, or the different styles of music maybe they've grown up through, and that they, maybe at one time they like this kind of music, and now, it's like a progression. A lot of times that can kind of tell a story about that person, why they like the music they do. Not to mention, it's just an incredible release. No matter what emotion you might be dealing with, whether you're incredibly happy, whether you're sad, whether you're frustrated, whether you're just outright pissed off about something, there's music that you can listen to that'll help you deal with that. That'll help you kind of get whatever, especially negative feelings, it'll help you get that out in a constructive manner, rather than keep them bottled in. I've always found music to be kind of a release. If I'm agitated about something, I put in some metal. And I know some people might think, especially people that maybe don't listen to metal, would think, how does that relax you? It does. I mean, ask anybody that really likes metal, and they'll tell you. And a stereotype a lot of times you get with metal too is people want to look at people that listen to metal, and a lot of times they're tattooed, or they have piercings, they wear a lot of black, all these different things that people kind of throw into the stereotype of metalheads. But you always get that kind of lump of that, they're troublemakers, or they don't care about people, all those different things. They just, the monikers that they throw on. And what you'll find actually is a lot of times just the opposite. Most people who listen to metal are very laid back. They're very open. They're very inviting. They don't have a problem with they don't have a problem with you if you don't listen to metal. Like I myself, majority of my CD collection is metal, and whether it's from classic rock metal to some of the newest bands around, and all the different subgenres in metal. But I'm always very open to people. If you don't like metal, that's fine. It is kind of a it's one of those forms of music where I think it's really one of those things that it can be a love-hate thing. Either you really like it or you can't stand it at all. Although there are some bands that I think, even people that don't really listen to metal, they might find there are some metal bands that they might be intrigued by, and they might actually enjoy listening to, if they take a chance and listen to them. And of course that goes with other forms of music too. I mean, you pick anyone at random. I mean, you look at country music. there's a lot of people that say, oh, you know, they can't stand country music. They hate it. But yet, there's some country that if you play it, you'll find they're actually enjoying it. You know, a big one with, I think, with country is like Johnny Cash or Waylon Jennings. You know, those are probably the big two, or Hank Williams Jr. You know, they all three had kind of that outlaw, rebel, you know, kind of backing, if you will, behind them. It's kind of what they were known for, a lot of their music and so forth. And maybe that kind of fits in with, again, with metal and what people think about metal. What I found is a lot of people that listen to metal, they don't really listen to country, but if you mention Johnny Cash, not only do they know who Johnny Cash is, they probably got an album or two of Johnny Cash. Or Hank Williams Jr. So, you know, that's one where, you know, somebody maybe always listened to metal, and then they finally took a chance to listen to Johnny Cash or something like that, and they found, you know, it's country, but I like it. You know, another big one obviously is rap, hip hop. I was never real big on that genre. You know, growing up, I never really got into it until I was maybe in my late teens, and then I started listening to some of it. And when it comes to rap, I mean, nothing against any rap artists out there today, but if I'm going to listen to it, I would prefer to listen to old school, like hip hop and stuff. I mean, like Run DMC or Dougie Fresh or the Fat Boys, Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five, the Sugar Hill Gang, even, you know, early LL Cool J. You know, that was the rap and stuff that I listened to. More recently, I did like DMX. I have a number of his CDs. Eminem, obviously, is I can listen to Eminem. I think he's very talented, which kind of blew everybody away. I think, you know, I mean, because outside of like the Beastie Boys, when you look at, and you know, obviously, you know, if there's somebody I'm forgetting, you know, by all means, let me know in the comments. But when you think of white people, you don't really think rap or hip hop prior to like the Beastie Boys, and then of course Eminem came out, and it was like, damn, yeah, and yeah, we have to admit, you know, for a short while, Vanilla Ice was a big name. You know, he did have a few. He did have a few songs that really caught on and did really well. But I think, you know, he was kind of like a segue. He was in between, you know, you had the Beastie Boys, and then you had Vanilla Ice, and he had that really, you know, he had a few hooks that were real catchy. And then you really didn't hear anything for a while, you know, because Vanilla Ice kind of fell off. And what, like the late 80s, maybe early 90s, you didn't really hear nothing about him anymore. And then didn't he come out and try to do like, didn't he do like a rock album or a metal album or something like that? I don't know what he's doing these days. But then you got Eminem, and then it just kind of exploded. Everybody was kind of taken aback by that because, you know, here's a white guy that's just killing it, you know, doing these, you know, mixing rhymes and stuff. So, I mean, you got to respect them, right? But that's what I'm saying. You know, I like all kinds of music, and a lot of people, oh, I don't like that or like that, but I'm sure even if they're dead set against hip-hop or dead set against metal or something, they could find somebody in that genre that they would actually enjoy. It's all a matter of giving it a chance. But, like I said, I'm going to go to, and these videos might run maybe 20, 25 minutes. I try to keep it at least 30 or below. Especially this person would run along because I'm saying all that. But other ones will be a little shorter because I'll just dive right into it. I'm just going to do basically 2 CDs at a time. I'm going to pull, yeah, I'm old and I'm old school. Some of y'all might not even know what a freaking CD is. They're actually getting harder and harder to find at stores. Like if you go on like Walmart now, they have just like a very small section and that's it. So if you want CDs, you got to look around for them. Or when you go see bands live, they almost always have CDs for sale. Buy a CD from them. I'm going to show you two albums that obviously I really enjoy. I got my phone here, so I will pull up again within the fair use. I can't think of the right word, but you know, using the fair use, I'll be able to play a little snippet of like 1 or 2 songs from these albums. In case you haven't heard these bands, you'll get an idea of what they sound like, and then I'll try to tell you a little bit about about those particular songs and the albums in general, my thoughts and my feelings, and so forth. All right, sound good? So stick with me. It won't take much longer. It'll take maybe a few minutes. Well, it'll take a little more than a few minutes, but we'll do it. And then, like I said, after this, the next ones will be a little bit faster. If you enjoy it, obviously give me a thumbs up. That way I know, I should keep doing it. Just trying to fill in time with some content until I get some more, stuff to unbox. All right, the first one I'm going to expound upon. This band has been around for a long time. They're part of the, it's a lot of times referred to as kind of like the Bay Area thrash scene. That's really where thrash music and metal came out. It came out of the Bay Area, San Francisco. Can't remember whether they're actually from San Francisco, but they came out of that whole scene, out of the, what again is referred to as the Bay Area thrash scene. I mean, there were other bands doing thrash that came from other, other parts of the United States and even from overseas and stuff. But when people refer to thrash, what they normally think of is the Bay Area, because that's where some of the bigger bands from the 80s and early 90s, that is the actual area they came out of. First one I want to talk about is Overkill. This is their album Under the Influence. I believe this was, don't quote me on what, I believe it was their 3rd album. I want to say 3rd or 4th, somewhere in there. See if it has a date on it. This was 1983. Right, so maybe it wasn't their, maybe it was like their 2nd album. I don't remember for sure, but anyway, here we go. This is, obviously this was a good photo of the band on the back. Overkill they're still in it. It's been years since I've seen them in concert. We used to go to, me and a couple friends of mine used to go to Bogart's in Cincinnati. Literally back in the late 80s and early 90s. We used to go there probably once a week, sometimes twice a week, to see concerts. And a lot of concerts we went to were speed metal and thrash. So I've seen Overkill a number of times during that time period. And then, get into the maybe late 90s. It was probably around maybe the last time I saw them, and I haven't seen them since. And it's not so much because they haven't been around. They've been around. It's just, when they did come around, I didn't have money, or I wasn't aware of it until it was, already done and passed. But I know just recently, either they were just at the King of Clubs, or they're getting ready to play at the King of Clubs. I don't remember. I think they're playing Bogarts too. I actually really wanted to go to it, but I think it's like on a I want to say it's on a Wednesday night, and yeah, I try to avoid going to concerts like in the middle of the week just because I got to be up so freaking early the next morning. But you know, if they come around again, hopefully they will. I'll definitely try to go see them the next time. But yeah, they're always well known. All of their covers normally feature this kind of like skull bat. That's kind of what their logo, if you will, or their mascot, if you want to call it that. And I find that's the right word to use with a metal band, but. But this was a 9-song album, which by today's standards that might seem kind of low. I know a lot of when groups and bands and stuff put albums out now, they have 12 to 15 songs on them. Back then, you did find a lot of albums that had anywhere from 6 to 10 songs, and that was kind of the normal for albums back then. Yeah. Well, let me pull up a one of the songs by them. See, the very first song on the album, it's kind of the title of the song is perfect for this band, because this is actually what they do. And like I said, under fair use, I'll just play a little bit of it. This is called Shred. Alright, I'll skip into the song a little bit. Yeah. Obviously, you don't get the same effect, going on. I guess seeing it live, but that's kind of reminiscent of their style. Is that song? And I mean, it's like I said, it's a perfect name for a song by them, because like every one of their songs is like that. I mean, it's just pure thrash. And what's great is there are some bands that when they're around for a long time, they change. We won't mention any names, but there are some bands that the newer stuff they've done, it's not good. It's definitely not comparable to their old stuff. Overkill is one of those ones that even their newest stuff sounds just as good as their first few albums. I mean, every album they put out has been just pure thrash. And you can't go wrong with that. Now, the other one I'm going to play just a little bit of, this one is for people that know Overkill. This is probably one that they immediately recognize. This is one of the staples you almost always expected for them to play when you saw them live. And it is called Hello from the Gutter. And commercial.
Next round on me.
For Jack Daniels, no less. Starts out real good. trying to get it to turn off so it wouldn't play too much. But yeah, you didn't hear a lot of vocals. Like I said, I don't know. I can't remember how long snippets you can play, how long they are, before you get penalized or whatever before they flag your video. So just played it. It is Hello from the Gutter is more of, I guess you would call it, more of a ballad style in comparison to their other typical songs, but it does still have its thrash kind of roots to it. It still has very fast, very hard-hitting guitar riffs in the song. Vocally, it's definitely got more of especially in particular areas of it, is very much more like a ballad. Those are probably like the two big ones that most people think of when they think of this album. Another one would probably be track 5, which is called Brain Fade. It's another really hard-hitting track. Yeah, those are probably the big 3 off of this album. That because I mean I don't think any of the other ones I've actually heard them play live. Those 3 I have heard them play live. But all right, well that's it. I was going to go into another one, but the video is already at 27 minutes, so we'll leave it there. I didn't go like in depth into the Overkill, so this is just kind of like a precursor of what I want to try to do. So with other, if I do it again, like I said, I won't have the big intro and stuff like that. I'll just kind of dive into it, so I'll be able to go a little more in depth into the music and what I think about it, and so forth and so on. So that's all I'm going to do for now. By all means, especially if you like, I mean, obviously if you're a metalhead, you've heard of Overkill. But maybe if you're younger and you've gotten into metal recently, you got introduced to it, whatever it is, maybe you haven't been exposed to Overkill. In that case, by all means, do yourself the great favor of look them up and Google them, go to their actual website, listen to some of their music, buy some of their merch. You can never go wrong with having an Overkill shirt in your wardrobe. I've got one. I was actually going to put it on, but I can't find the damn thing. That's the problem. When you've been to as many concerts as I have, and you buy shirts at like every one of them, you can't keep them on your closet. You got to, and especially because the ones, concerts I went to back in the late 80s, those shirts don't fit me anymore. So I just kind of folded them up and I put them away somewhere. Now I don't remember where the hell I put them at. But I know I have an Overkill shirt. I probably got more than one. But I might have to go on and buy another one. Just so I have one that fits. And then I know where it's at. Hey, that's it. Hey, as always, everybody, hey, do me a big favor, would you? If you're not a subscriber, subscribe. This is just something new I'm trying out. I'll be able to do a little more in-depth, like I said, in the future. I normally do unboxing videos of like Funko Pops, geek stuff, comics, Hot Wheels, overstock merchandise, and liquidation boxes and pallets, stuff like that. Hoping to start getting pallets here soon. So if you want to subscribe, you don't have to watch every video I put out, but I'd greatly appreciate it. So if you do me that favor, great. As always, everybody, stay safe, stay healthy, look out for yourself and those around you. And until the next time,